Scott Dixon wins in Texas, but that is just the tip of the iceberg on what a lot of people are calling one of the worst IndyCar races of all time. Okay, so to start off with this, the one obvious reason for this is the obnoxious PJ1 blunder that was happening with the Texas Motor Speedway. The fact that this is PJ1 left over from November, the NASCAR race, and yet somehow that stuff still hasn't washed off. I don't know how this stuff works, but, I've said you're just going to need to repave the track at this point, because if it's sticking around for this long, it's just going to stay. It's not going to leave. You're going to have to repave the track, and preferably if you're going to repave it, make it the old Texas, because good grief, that was 100 times more entertaining, especially way more entertaining than this race. So from the start of the race, after about lap 3, it was starting to become obvious that this was not going to be a very entertaining race. I mean, if you hadn't already known that by watching practice and qualifying, saying is literally in qualifying, all Sato had to do was get, up out of the groove just enough, and the car just absolutely went around on him. And that, if that wasn't a sign to you, I don't know what is. But yeah, this is just, first of all, there was controversy before the race started when 3 Hondas had problems with the ECU before the race even started. So Ray Hall, Rossi, and Hunter Ray all had problems with the ECU, and they had to start at the back. And then they had to do a drive-through penalty, and Hunter Ray and Rossi were 2 laps down, and Ray Hall was 3 laps down to start the race. Hunter Ray had made his way back up to the lead lap by about lap 95, and he ended up finishing 8th. Great job by him, good grief. I don't understand why they're double penalizing them. Going to the back at this track with this PJ1 crap is bad enough, but, double penalizing them? Really? So, everyone had to come in and pit at lap 35, though there were people pitting as late as lap 37, which, not exactly sure how that's legal, but, I don't know. And on lap 37, Rinus VeeKay, who had already crashed in practice, got way up out of the groove into the PJ1, got super loose, and as he was getting off of it at the end of the corner, he got back into gas too early, flipped the car around, and hit an innocent bystander in Alex Palou. And really sucked for Rinus. Carpenter railed on him at the end of the race. Gosh dang it. He said he's a good guy, but he needs to listen to what I'm saying. And, I get it. This is this dude's first race, and he's crashed in practice, not been able to make a qualifying run, and crashed in the race. So, not a good look for Rinus, but, whatever. And Palou, he was doing okay. It sucks that he got taken out that early. Obviously, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't like VeeKay where it was he got taken out early, but it was his fault. He was just trying to come back down the track, and he had gone all the way down pretty much to the apron to try to avoid it. Maybe could have gone up, but he said with those things, it's kind of confusing. It's kind of a guessing game whether they're going to go down or up, whether they're going to, slide back up the track or go down. And it's kind of weird. I don't know how the physics work like that, but they do. It's almost a guessing game as to whether or not where they're going to go. So they went about another 35 laps, not a full 35, and it was, Newgarden was having problems with a vibration, and then a yellow came out for debris, but there was no debris, literally anywhere. It seemed to really benefit Newgarden over everyone else, and not really do anything for anyone else. It was very weird, a lot of people were saying, oh yeah, this was a Roger Penske yellow just to get Newgarden a chance to pit with everyone else. And frankly, that's it. That's probably it. I think that this yellow was probably not... There was someone saying there was a sign out in turn 4, but typically with the debris yellows, they tell NBC where the debris is so that they can get someone to work on getting the debris cleaned up so that they can have a camera on it. this is just like, well, we have no idea where the debris is, and essentially it looks like it was fake. I never saw a signboard out in turn 4. I still think it was fake. Who knows? So there was really nothing too notable until about 11 laps to go. After just coming out of the pits on cold tires, Felix Rosenqvist was trying to get back up to Scott Dixon. He was only about second behind him, but there was a bunch of lap cars in the way, and when he was trying to pass them, he went to the outside of Hinchcliffe, and Hinchcliffe was already going wide, and Rosenqvist got way up into the PJ1, and he spun out and crashed. He only took himself out, and there was actually, the broadcasters were kind of wondering if Hinchcliffe might have touched him, which, after the replay, no, he did not touch him. It's just, it happened. I mean, he really was, there wasn't enough room to go inside, and, I mean, Marco, I think he was kind of trying to follow Marco, because Marco had also gone there. It was a really awkward situation there. It all kind of happened at once, and it just, like, I don't know. But, yeah, anyways, stinks that Hinchcliffe was there. Then on the final restart, they had to get everything figured out, and they had to wait till 3 to go to restart, and it was weird because they had the lap cars in between Dixon and the rest of the field. And then, for some reason, I think that they should just wave the lap cars to the back if they're going to do that. Like, I don't understand hey, we're going to take an extra lap to wave the lap cars down pit road. I'm just like, do what NASCAR does and just send them to the back. Like, if you're going to have a rule that the lap cars go to the back with 20 to go, don't have another rule saying we can override that whenever we want. But, I don't know. But yeah, anyways, Kimball, on the final lap, Scott Dixon had pulled away from everyone, and a really good day had ended for Kimball. He had actually pitted under that final yellow after already having pitted earlier, like 5 laps earlier, and all those laps were under caution. I don't understand why. I mean, he had a great day going. I guess he'd gotten a speeding penalty at some point in the day, so yeah, Kimball had a very good day going. He was 3rd or 4th most of the race. He was going to pass Pagano at a point, and then had a pit stop where he got the speeding penalty. Like, just, it stinks for Kimball. He still finished 11th, the last car in the lead lap. But, again, that's last car in the lead lap, so I really don't know what to say about that. Scott Dixon wins. My general review of this race is that it was just outright disgusting. I mean, I think the problem with it was mostly the PJ1 and then a little bit of the Texas repave that had taken place a couple of years ago. And since then, the race has just been off par. I think the 2017 race, though it was crazy dangerous, like, the problem is, I don't want to sound like Santino, but the 2017 race, like, for the fans, it was, like, one of the best races. It's really entertaining. Lots of stuff happening every lap. Kanaan had gone, like, 2 laps down in that race and still went on to finish 3rd, I think, 2nd. I don't remember that race well, other than just, like, Hinchcliffe, Rahal, and Kanaan, and Dixon and Carpenter all being up there really fighting for a win. Yeah. Obviously stinks that we didn't have that today. I wish we had a little bit. I wish that there was more than one line in the corners and you didn't have to pass on the straightaways. And really, you need about 2 corners to pass. You need a straightaway and then 2 corners. And it just took away the corners. So you had to get a run and pass someone on the stretch and get past them by the time you got to the corner, or one of them was going to be up in the PJ1 and they were going to wreck. Apparently, it was part of the problem with the PJ1 is that they had tried to wash it off, but before the race they had tried to power wash it, and that essentially just got a bunch of water in it and messed it up. I think if they would have just left it there, it might have been slightly better, but I mean, I don't know. It's funny that you've got a traction compound that's like making cars get loose and like doing the opposite of a traction compound, but like really. nice stories for today. Tony Kanaan had started pretty well. He was kind of climbing up through the field, and then he just fell off. He finished 10th. He was going to be the last car in the lead lap, and then Kimball wrecked, which stinks. But good day for the Foyt cars. They both finished on the lead lap, 10th and 11th. Ryan Hunter-Reay, I'd already mentioned, was 8th. Colton Herta was P7. Really not much that happened with him today. I had talked about in the starting grid that really the only time that Colton Herta got much coverage was during qualifying when he had the big air hose sticking out the top of his car. Not sticking out the top of it, but a little bit was out of the top of the car. It's like, it's definitely not for downforce. Not really helping much, but kind of an off-par day for Colton, but I mean, at least he didn't wreck from the lead. Like, that's, at least it wasn't 2019, but I would have taken a 2019 style race more. Another thing I want to talk about is the tires. It obviously stinks that because of the whole crap going on right now. I don't know if I'm actually allowed to say the name of the virus anymore, if you're going to get, like, deplatformed if you do that, your video. Like, I'm still not sure, so I'm just going to go ahead and be cautious and not say it. But the stuff going on right now made it so that Firestone was not able to make a tire for this race, so they had to take the outside tires were the tires from Texas 2019, and the inside tires were the tires from 2019 Indy. So that was very weird. You know what I want to see? I want to see them make a Kanaan diecast, and David Land had talked about this, but I want to see them make a Kanaan diecast with and make it really realistic, with the outside tires being the regular Firestones and the inside tires being the 500 ones. I would love to see that. I would love to see any car have that just to see how it looks. It's like, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, this was IndyCar's return. Gonna go ahead and give it a race rating. I'll give it a 40. There were certain parts of the race that showed flashes of being good, but just the tires, the problems just kept stacking up. You had the tires, the PJ1 problems, the bad Texas stuff, the first race back for IndyCar. At least it wasn't a wreck fest. I was predicting before this race that it was going to be an absolute wreck fest, and it wasn't, so that's good. Yeah, anyways, this has been me giving my opinions on the Genesys 300. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified when I post a new video. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.